And now, it's time for another Dice Tower review with Tom Vasel.
Hey folks, today we're taking a look at a game called Trickerion. Now I heard about Trickerion a year ago and I was very intrigued because it's about magicians. But not the magicians in what you think. There's lots of games about mages and things. I'm talking about illusionists and guys who do tricks and contortionists and all sorts of things on stage. That is a cool theme, and I'm a sucker for a theme that doesn't exist. And I heard that this game was a pretty involved game, that there was a lot going on. It has a very strong historical flavor to it. The 1800s and the different, there's a lot of historical tricks that are done in it. And you are sitting here doing a lot of different things with worker placement and simultaneous selection. So much. I'll show you a bit of it. There's so much going on in this game that I won't be able to explain all of it to you, so I'm just going to tell you a little bit about the basic concepts of the game. Each player is going to start with a magician of their choice. Each magician has their card here, so you'll pick which magician. If you're playing the advanced game, each magician has a special ability. And each magician is going to start with a trick. There's tricks of different types. You'll notice that there's these tokens here that shows a heart, the different suits of cards. That's just when you have multiple tricks to differentiate. Like my heart trick is linking rings. So when I use these tokens, you know that that's what they are. There are goods, and you get different tokens. Each person will also have assistant boards that they get. You have the opportunity to have different assistants. Each assistant provides you with special abilities. There's different ones, like for example, there's a manager, and here's an engineer, and there's different types of boards compatible. Each one has a special thing. For example, she comes with extra resources, one comes with extra tricks that you can do. Each of these also comes with different tokens here, and this is the main focus of this game. Players are going to take turns putting these tokens on the board. When players place these tokens on the board, each token that they place on the board has an energy amount on it. And then the space that you put it in will be added to that. So if I put this here, I have 5 energy that I can spend in that location. And in most of the locations, you can even spend things to get more energy. And then do different things with the energy that you have. So in this location, for example, I can spend 3 energy to go here, to take a die, 3 energy to go here, or 3 energy to go here. I can spend 2 energy to change one of the dice to the side of my choice. I can spend 1 energy to re-roll a die. And I have 5 energy because I put this guy here, this stands for my magician there. If I sent my assistant into this spot, for example, now I have 2 energy. Now these spots here are going to let you, for example, these here, the white ones, let you take a new magic trick. There are all sorts of magic tricks here. They're in 4 different categories. You have to take one that this shows. So this shows the mystical category, and you pick a trick from that category, and then you would turn this to the X side. Each one has an X, and if X's are rolled initially, you're not even able to use these dice. So there's only a certain amount of time that the dice can be used. And then you go through here and you'll take a new trick, like here's Spirit Hand. Over here is the Iron Maiden, and all the different tricks from this period of time are in these piles. Over here at the bank is a place to get money. So when you go here, you get 4 money here, and then again change it to the X side. And then over here you can get more people at it. You can get hire more assistants and things. If you put your workers down in this section down here, you get resources. You can go and again go here to get a certain amount of energy and use energy to buy the different resources. These are the current available resources, but you can order other resources, and these resources will then show up the next turn, and then they'll be available for people to buy. They'll replace the different resources. So the resources that you want replaced, you'll have to order them back. And there's ways to get resources faster, although it costs more energy and costs more money. Each player can also place workers on their own board. And by the way that you place these workers, and I should mention this because this is a critical part of the game, is you're going to put a card underneath each worker. And so this card says this one's going downtown. This one says they're going to the workshop, to the market row, to the theater. And you can even go to the dark alley, but that's in the expanded game. And when you go to the dark alley in the expanded game or the advanced game, you have the chance to get other cards which you can play to go to certain locations, and they give you special abilities. So that makes it a lot more interesting. So you're placing these cards face down, and that will tell you where each of your people go. And as time goes by, you can hire more and more people and have more folks going out and going and doing the tasks you want. But you can also put people in your workshop to build your tricks. You're going to need different resources to get your magic tricks going. So you can put people down there. You can also, if you have nothing else, your assistants can just get you 1 coin each. And then finally, and this is where all the points of the game come from, you can put people here. They're going to be, your magician's really the only person who can go to these spots, but they're going to go here and get energy to basically put a magic show on. So at the top here, there's going to be some cards, and let me bring these cards down a little bit closer so we can see one. Here's a Riverside Theater card. These cards are going to be different each game, so you're going to see different cards. And players are going to be putting their magic tricks on these. And when you put your magic trick on something, you're going to look at the trick itself. It's going to give you whatever, like for example here, it gives you a victory point. But the bigger tricks as time goes by, they will give you different events. I'm sorry, not the victory point. This one gives you 2 coins. It shows you here in the middle. That's where you pick from. But if you have bigger tricks, like this one here, gives you a victory point and 5 coins. This one here, the Horror Souls, gives you 4 victory points and 8 coins. You also will get points when you're doing these tricks, and different characters, different people can have tricks in the same show, essentially, and you'll get a combining bonus if the sides of these tricks match each other. I guess that's to show kind of the flow of the tricks. And so that's each round. Everyone's going to place the cards out on their board, send their workers out, get the things up here, getting more magic tricks, more people, getting more money, going down here, buying the resources for your tricks, going down to your main board to build the tricks, and then going here to perform the tricks. And then you go to the next turn. You keep track of it here. There's also a resource named Amber, which you'll use for a few things. Amber is worth points at the end of the game, so is money. But most of your points you're going to get are going to come from your tricks, and you keep track of them on this victory point track, which shows the crowd. That's a quick overview of the game. Well, that is a lot going on in there. And there's more you can promote, spend some money for points each turn. The turn order will change. There's really a lot going on. And I do like the fact that the book gives you the box gives you the magician's workbook. What this does is it shows you every magic trick, okay? It shows you all the magic tricks on each of these pages so you can see what they are, so you don't have to constantly grab the deck of cards to look for the magic trick you want. It also tells you what all the different spots do on the board, and then it shows you some of the things from the advanced game, which is on the other side of the board. And so this is a nice thing to have because there's a lot of choices in this game. This is a good/bad thing. Honestly, when it's time for you to pick a trick, you're going to sit there and think for a while because the tricks give different things. They need different materials to put them together. Some need a lot of materials. You have to get all these materials together. So that's going to slow the game down, especially if someone's AP prone. In fact, if someone is AP, and by that I mean analysis paralysis, where they have a hard time making decisions, I would never play this game with them because the decisions are boundless. First, you have to decide. Everyone's picking where they're going to send their people. Then when you send them there, what actions are you going to take there? Then, when you do the actions, I'm going to get a new person to work for me. I'm going to get a trick. Which one am I going to take? So you can see that the game could really slow down. Even for people who do make decisions quickly, this game has a lot of options. And there's a lot of strategy in this game. And so I think people who like heavier games are probably going to enjoy that. I will say I think the advanced game seems to be vastly more interesting than the basic game, if only because of the different cards that you can have, and it offers just a little bit more diversity between the magicians with their special abilities. Now, my problem with the game is not the complexity of the game. In fact, I liked a lot of the things. I liked putting the cards down, deciding where to send people. I liked the energy system and adding people, and all that's interesting. But there were several things that I did not like about the game. One is the whole resource thing. I'm a big sucker for theme. I think the theme of this game comes through really strongly. Go get magic tricks, learn how to do magic tricks, get the materials you need for the tricks, and then go perform them. But you spend so much of this game like, okay, I need some wood, I need some this and that and that. That's not very glamorous, and I didn't find it very enjoyable, not to mention a really wonky system. The store only holds 4 items, so if I need wood, but someone else ordered a saw, so the store now has saw instead of wood, so I have to order wood to get that back. Really weird, wonky system. I really dislike that whole system of buying goods, because you're like, okay, I need this stuff to do the trick, okay, I gotta order it. And then the next time you come in and you buy it, and oh, I helped Bob out because he also needs it. But Susan wants to replace that by bringing in wood. I did not like that part at all. I like the other part of the dice. That thing that was great. I also felt like the whole thing fizzles. This whole get the tricks, do this, and it's time to perform the tricks by placing a tile on a card. Not once did it feel like you were actually doing these tricks. The performances were kind of dull. That was a dull part of the game, and you're putting tiles, and then you're trying to match size of tiles. Totally Euro mechanism for no reason at all, just to get more points and stuff. And so because of that, that actually soured me on the entire game as a whole. The whole game has a lot of interesting mechanisms and bits and pieces. But when you put the whole thing together, I was left, when I'm done playing, I'm like, okay. Why would I feel that way? It's because the sum was less than all the different parts put together. There's a lot of great mechanical stuff here, and there's a lot of great theme, and the theme and the mechanics go together pretty well for the most part, but they don't mesh over well with the whole thing. Not once did I feel like you could replace it with anything. I've been building houses and get that, and there was so much emphasis on the economic part of this. And it almost was like they put too much stuff in. Like, let's do worker placement. Let's do card selection. Let's do an economy market where the goods in it are changing. And then let's put tile placement and things together. That's just too much going on, really. And all that to get points. So I need to get the trick, and then get the resources for the trick. And it just kind of fell apart for me. I think the advanced game is better. I didn't hate the game when I was playing it. I thought there was a lot of interesting things. It's just when it was done, I have no desire to play it again, which is unfortunate because I love the theme. And I even think some of the stuff's cool. I like the dice in this game. But overall, I'm going to give this one a pass. Dice Tower Judgment, not for me.
Thanks so much for watching the Dice Tower videos. Find more great videos and reviews, as well as our top-rated audio podcast at Dicetower.com. You can also find other great shows at Dicetowernetwork.com. I'm Eric Summerer, and you've been watching The Dice Tower. The Dice Tower is sponsored by Cool Stuff Inc., where you can find great games for great prices. Cool stuff in stock. Check them out at CoolStuffInc.com.
Shut the door.
There.